Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Small Talk. I know it has been quite a while since I have recorded videos. It was Ramadan, then I had some guests, and then I got really sick, so I wasn't able to record any videos. But today, I have got quite a few topics that I'm going to discuss. The first video that I'm going to make today is about the geopolitical situation that's taking place in the Middle East right now. So there are a few things that took place in the past week and a half or so. The first one and the most important one that I really like to discuss is the conflict between Israel and Iran. So we all know that Iran had attacked Israel with apparently 300 some drones, and the claim of Israel is that they have destroyed the 99% of those drones and the attack was unsuccessful. Iran, however, on the other hand, has a different theory. They think that they wanted to flex the muscles and they have shown what they could do to Israel and they have done the job that they desired to do. In this whole situation, I'm not sure who's right, who's wrong. We all know that Iran did not attack Israel because of Palestine or Gaza. Iran attacked Israel because Israel had bombed their embassy in the past, and Iran has a policy that they always like to retaliate or respond back. So they basically attacked Israel in response to Israel's attack on Iranian embassy. It's their policy. If they want to do it, I'm happy for them. They don't take any nonsense from any of the other nations, and they have the right to defend themselves, just like every other country has the right to defend itself. In this whole situation, however, now the Israel claimed that they were going to attack back, and they eventually did attack back. And this issue was such a hot topic for the media and the mainstream media and the social media that in this whole scenario, the talk of Gaza and talk of Palestine disappeared. That's the only side effect and the drawback which I saw. And that was the biggest drawback, because the people of Palestine need our support. They need our voices. They need us to stand up for them. Whatever we can do to help them, we are supposed to do it as mainstream media and social media anchors. The genocide in Gaza has not stopped. The starvation in Gaza did not stop. The killing of innocent civilians has not stopped. But the talk of genocide, the killing of civilians, the bombing the hospital, the starvation of the babies has stopped. And the main cause of that was the Iran and Israel conflict. I just wanted to remind everybody who is working at the mainstream media or who have their own social media platforms that please don't forget to raise your voice for the people of Palestine. There is a YouTuber that I closely follow. I'm the person who do invest into the New York Stock Exchange, and I have lots of stocks. So it's a very famous YouTuber who records lots of videos on the buy and sell alerts, the things that affect the stock market. And of course, in order for him to run his channel, he has to keep a close eye on the geopolitical issues as well, because everything that takes place in the world does have a very deep impact on the stock exchange. And when Ukraine and Russia war started, he made a series of videos giving an update every single morning, talking about how Russia is the villain and how Ukraine is being bombed and civilians are being killed. And that's wonderful that he was raising his voice for those who, in his opinion, were innocent. I don't want to go into detail. I don't know who's innocent and who's not. But of course, he was raising the voice that, in his opinion, was very innocent. Then the war on Palestine started. And during this whole process, I only remember him speaking once about the Israel committing war crime against people of Palestine, people of Gaza. And that was just a casual comments in the middle of his video. And he wanted to say how it's going to impact the stock market, if it's going to have any impact or not, etc. And that was it. And then suddenly Iran attacked Israel, and he started making a series of videos labeling it as World War III has started, and the update 1, update 2, update 3. Like, it's been a week since he's been uploading these videos every day, and he's portraying Israel as the poor country has to fight so many battles at the same time. It's fighting his dealing with his conflict within the Gaza and at the border of Palestine and Israel, and then it has to fight with Iran now, and then obviously Iraq is taking place, and then Israel has to fight with Egypt, etc., and the poor Israel has to do so much, and etc., etc. It really broke my heart, and I wanted to make comment to him and say, it'll be nice if you made a series of videos on Palestine and how Israel was committing war crimes and was committing genocide against Palestinian Muslims. But I didn't do this because, if anything, my comments is going to make him more popular. And then I thought, why not make a video of that myself? And that's why I'm recording this video, to kind of alert everybody that please do not forget and do not think that the genocide in Gaza has stopped. Nothing in Gaza has stopped. Their lives are still miserable. People are still being killed. The hospitals are being bombed. There are no schools, no food. During Ramadan, I was watching some videos. People were fasting, and their spirit is still high, and they're doing whatever they can in their power to stay connected with their God and with their faith. Their faith is so strong at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that during the month of Ramadan, when they were breaking their fast, they were eating dry bread with grass soup. That was their iftar. That was their fast-breaking feast or meal. And no comments from any mainstream media, social media whatsoever. Nobody cares, because to them, obviously, it doesn't matter how many Muslims die in this world. In fact, I came across the news yesterday that United States has approved $96 billion with the B, $96 billion to send aid to Ukraine and Israel. We all know the aid to Ukraine is just an addition to the aid. They're really not sending any aid to Ukraine. All of the $96 billion is most likely going to go towards Israel. It breaks my heart being an American and being an American Muslim. It breaks my heart twice. First, I am sick and tired of paying tax dollars, which I don't get the benefit of, but all my tax money is going towards the war in the Middle East, which as a US citizen, we have no concern with, and we should not have any concern with. It's not our war as an Americans. It's not our place to be. You can send aid, sure, go for it if that's what you want to do. But aid to the amount that's undescribable, when people in this country are losing jobs, economy is suffering, we are on the verge of being in recession, there are homelessness in this country, people don't have free healthcare, people don't have free education. My daughter just started going to college, and the amount of tuition that I'm paying is just hurts me every time. This was tax season, we just filed our taxes, and the amount of money that I had to pay in my taxes broke my heart. And next day I saw this news, the $96 billion was being approved in aid to Israel and Ukraine. American public has been dealing with wars for past 30 years. The people of America are getting sick and tired of US government taking part into other people's business. Nobody wants to pay their tax dollars to support the war and killing of innocent civilians across the world. These politicians and these lawmakers need to be held accountable for sending our tax dollar to the far, far away land which they should not have any concern with. American government doesn't realize that they have such a bad reputation that there are memes for them out there. I just came across a meme because there was the news that Iran just found discovered another area where they have oil, and people had made comment under their news like, oh my God, Iran has oil now. The democracy and freedom is coming. This is how people remember the government of United States or the country of United States, that they're so greedy. Wherever there's oil, they go there and start attacking those countries in the name of democracy and freedom. So they call the US now democracy and freedom. So we as Americans are ashamed and scared and angry because my tax dollar is not being spent for my children's education, for my health care, for my children's health care, for my everyday benefits. If I lose my job, I'm not even sure if I'll be able to support my family tomorrow. And my tax dollar is being sent to the countries who are killing innocent civilians. American public, most of the people feel the same way. Nobody wants to deal with these wars anymore. People are sick and tired of these wars. And surprisingly, all the presidential candidates have the same agenda. Nobody talks about the American people. Nobody talks about taking care of the general public of this country, the citizens of the United States of America. To my surprise, Trump is the only one who does. As much as I don't like him, that's one thing that I appreciate about him, that whenever he speaks for the American people, for the American public, the voters, the taxpayers. He always talk about making sure the life of Americans is comfortable, and he does not want to spend money on things which are unnecessary for the United States of government to spend. Number one. Number two, it hurts me even more as an American Muslim because my tax dollar is being spent on killing innocent Muslim civilians in Gaza. American public, American taxpayer has a pain that they're suffering. I have pain times two that I'm suffering, and I'm pretty sure all the Muslim Americans feel the same way, that we are basically supporting this war to kill our innocent Muslims, brothers and sisters in Gaza. We need to raise our voices. We need to stop this genocide. And please do not forget that Iran-Israel conflict is not that serious. That does not mean that because Israel is dealing with Iran, Israel has stopped the genocide in Palestine, in Gaza, and it's not killing human beings, and it's not destroying the buildings, it's not destroying the hospitals, it's not raping women and starving the innocent kids to death. It's still doing all of this. The problem is that now we don't talk about this anymore because that's not the hot topic anymore. The hot topic of the day is Iran versus Israel. So I know the election season is coming. And the other thing that the drawback that I faced, that Israel, after doing whatever it has done in Gaza, it had destroyed its reputation across the globe. And I really mean it. Lots of the Western nations had stepped back a little bit in supporting Israel. And they truly had. I know the US government was showing a little bit more resistance because elections are coming. I don't think they were doing it for any other reason. And obviously now Joe Biden wants to win the next election, which I highly doubt he would, but you never know. This is politics. Anything could happen. That was the only reason probably why US was stepping back a little bit. But lots of other Western nations were kind of standing against Israel, and they were saying this war crime needs to stop, or we are not going to support Israel. But now with this Iran attacking Israel, though they had their own reasons, they did not attack Israel because they were concerned about Palestinian Muslims. They attacked Israel because of their own personal issue with them. But it has put the problem that's taking place in Israel in the back burner, and that's not good. I request all the Americans, all the Muslims across the globe, please raise your voices. Please stand up for the innocent civilians of Gaza. Please do not forget that Iran-Israel conflict is not going to start the World War III. It's not going to happen. But what this is going to do is divert the attention of the world from the major issue. And the major issue is the issue of Gaza, the issue of Palestine, the issue of killing of innocent civilians. Israel did not stop that, so please don't stop talking about it, and please do not stop raising your voice. All right, now my next geopolitical problem is there's a big rainstorm in Dubai. It's a shocker that Dubai is a desert, obviously, and this much rain caused so much damage in desert that the Dubai Mall was flooded, the roofs kind of blew away, and there was a rumor that maybe Burj Khalifa is about to collapse, etc. I don't know how true that is. I haven't checked the facts on that one. But now I'm going to discuss why it happened, what happened. I remember a few years ago, somebody that I know in Pakistan, one of my relatives, he asked me this question. He said, you know, back in the days, during the time of Prophet Noah and Prophet Abraham and, Prophet Lut, etc., Allah used to send um, the destruction to the nations of those prophets whenever they did something wrong. How come that doesn't happen anymore? And I told him, I said, it's not that it doesn't happen anymore. It still does happen. It's just that we as human beings have become so resilient to it that we don't even recognize that it's happening. And there was a tsunami in the Asia, one of the Asian countries. I forgot. I think it was Ukraine or it was I don't know where it was. I forgot. Sorry, I went blank. There was a big tsunami and it had destroyed the entire city. And I said, didn't you hear about the tsunami that destroyed the entire city? It was in one of the Asian countries. And I said, so that was the azab, the qahr, the destruction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He sent to the human being. But the problem is the world has grown so much and there's so much population in the world that if one city gets destroyed, other people don't even care. And I think that's what's happening. So I don't know what the cause is. There are lots of speculation. Some people are saying that Dubai had this huge storm because Allah wanted to teach them a lesson. Since they built a temple in Dubai for Hindus, they are going to worship idols. My husband and I had this conversation a couple of days ago, and he said, well, people are saying Dubai got destroyed because, or they had a big chaos because they built a temple. And I said, well, it's the duty of the government to protect the places of worship for all the civilians and citizens who live in that country. And if they want to build their temple, government can't stop them. That's their property. They bought it. And in Islam, we've read since we were kids, like Fid Din, that there is no jabr in deen. You cannot force anybody to change their deen. So we have to support whatever religion they follow. We may not like it, but we cannot destroy their places of worship. That's a sin in Islam. And he said, well, yeah, I understand. Don't destroy them. And if they want to build it, they're the citizens of the country. And if that's the law, they can build. But don't pay to build an idol worship temple. That is like you're going 180 degrees away from what Allah has commanded you to do. And it kind of made sense to me. I was like, yeah, if they funded the temple or the construction of the temple, then I think that's something that they shouldn't have done, and that's wrong. So there are lots of speculations of that kind. Obviously, Allah knows best. I don't know. It could be just a natural disaster. It could be that Allah wanted to teach them a lesson since they're doing something which is absolutely not acceptable. Allah does not like associating partners with Him. Allah is a very jealous God. He does not like that. So even in Bible, I read actually somewhere that the God of Bible is a very jealous God. He does not want anyone to be associated with Him. Now, of course, Christians have associated Trinity with God, but that's another story to be discussed. So this was the second news. And the third, I also wanted to say that whenever we get together as Muslim Ummah, please make dua, worship, and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive our sins, because the problem of Palestine is not the problem of Palestine. It's the problem of entire Muslim Ummah. It's the problem of American taxpayer. Our tax dollar is going, excuse me, our tax dollar is going to support, to kill innocent civilians, to rape women, to starve kids to death. Raise your voice, America. Wake up, America. I don't know what you're waiting for. All the news that you hear on the social media or mainstream media, they are far, far away from the reality. And I'm going to talk to that YouTuber. I don't want to mention his name because I don't want him to get more followers because of this. I am very upset with him. Please record a series of videos on war and on Palestine, the terrorism that Israel is creating in Palestine, please make video on those, the war crimes. Say that Israel is a terrorist state. Why don't you say it? I know you don't want to say it because you're scared of the government. The government is going to come and get you. But you always claim that you always state the facts. So state the facts. Don't hide it from the public. Not telling the truth is also called lying. So you're lying when you're not stating the truth. So please do so. I am doing my part. And if somebody comes and tries to shut me off or shut me down, it's my freedom of speech. I am a citizen of this country. I am the taxpayer of this country. I have lived a clean, respectful life in this country, and I have done my part as a citizen. And it's my voice, and I'm going to raise my voice for those who are in need of this voice. This deafening silence is just not acceptable from the world that's taking place, especially from the Muslim world. You guys need to raise your voices and speak up. Please give me your feedback in the comment section below. Please give my video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Until next video, Allah Hafiz.